So you might have seen published recently that we're going through this live Facebook and YouTube Q&A. We've had some questions come in to us and we're going to go to answer those as best as we can. Do remember that if you've got any of these conditions that we're going to cover and they've been going on for a long time, longer than a couple of weeks, it's always best to get some proper advice, i.e. personal advice, so see a practitioner, but we'll do our best to help you from a distance here in these videos. So, first question, what could cause tingling in your fingers? So there's a number of different causes, and I'll go through just a few of those. So some people, when they're, say, like Lara's doing the video right now, holding the phone up to your face for long periods, you're scrolling through social media or even watching this video, your hands go a little bit numb and it feels weird. Some people get quite freaked out about this, but invariably it's nothing to be concerned about. It's just as the vascular system, so the blood vessels that come out of your rib cage, they go down your arms, they go through a few muscles. And when you're holding your phone up like this or reading your book, they constrict on those bloods, on the blood circulation, and that cuts off circulation a bit to your hands. Shake it out, it'll go away. That's no concern. Other forms of tingling in the fingers, if it's specific fingers, say these ones here, or down the side of the arm here, those can be a little bit more linked to problems in the neck. So in the lower portion of the neck down here, these nerves go out. So if you've got any injury to this section, similar to things like sciatica in the lower back, it can cause symptoms of pins and needles, tingling, etc. down the arm. So these lower ones are generally responsible for this sort of pattern, and then a little bit higher up, you can get this region of your hand, and these fingers can get a little bit tingly or a little bit numb. If you're getting these sorts of symptoms, it may or may not be associated to some sort of neck pain, but it will be associated to a neck disorder. So you may not necessarily have neck pain, but you must go and get looked at properly before sort of just managing it and ignoring it. So please do get that one checked out.
Okay. The next question we got is, are my headaches related to my neck pain? So a lot of the time, headaches can be from sort of common causes like dehydration or focusing on something for too long, tiredness in the eyes, but it can be to do with the neck as well. So most of the time what happens is that there's a lot of compressive forces if the head is in the wrong position. So when you bend the neck back, there's a lot of compression on the facet joints in the back here. Similarly, when you bring the neck too far forwards, and a lot of the time most people have this position in their neck, again there's compressive forces on the front and on the nerves around here as well. So again, most of the time it can be from these kind of common causes like dehydration and looking at things for too long and the tiredness in the eyes focusing, but it can be from the neck. Looking for other symptoms can be another way of finding out whether it is to do with the neck, but it's best to get it checked out first of all, but it can be from the neck as well.
One of the most common variations of sort of neck-related headaches is if you get sort of pain on the back of the skull here, coming over the top, and it can feel like a compressive band. You might also get pain behind the eyes. So that's quite a good cue that it's coming from the neck. Other sorts of headaches, there's loads of different ones. You can find out all the different characteristics of those on Google, but the very common one is that sort of band-like pain or pain going over the top of the head and pain behind the eyes, and that's commonly associated or coming from the neck. Anything else you want to add on that one?
I think that was it, yeah.
Only one last one, low blood sugar levels. Sometimes that can give people a headache, and just having a sweet in a couple of minutes, that sorts it out straight away. So that's quite a simple one. Drinking water and having something a little bit sugary, not too much, can often resolve the headache very, very quickly, especially if you know you haven't been drinking or eating because you've been busy with work or other things. So the next one, this is a common one that we get in the clinic, and this is putting the socks on in the morning and getting back pain. A lot of people think they herniated a disc doing this. The reality is you probably just strained something, or if you have herniated a disc, you've done it before that, and that was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. The reason that you're vulnerable first thing in the morning, especially if you've got these sort of underlying discal injuries in the lower back, and this can go on and cause sciatica, is because your discs are very vulnerable first thing in the morning if there's some inflammation. They're a bit swollen, you're a little bit more sensitive, and that first forward bending movement, as you go down to put your socks on, you really flex and squash down on these last discs. Commonly it's the L5S1, but also slightly less frequently the R4-5, you squash down on that disc and drive the disc material backwards, and that can either cause a relatively inconsequential injury or something a little bit more sinister, and that'll flare up relatively quickly and give you that sharp pain either in the back or down the leg. Discs do not like repetitive forward bending, and they like even less forward bending with twisting, which is generally how you get that one sock on or shoes on. So try your best to avoid these. A very good tip to avoid this knocking you for six first thing in the morning, especially before a busy meeting or something like that, is to, when you get up first thing in the morning, walk around, stay upright as much as possible for the first 10 to 15 minutes of the day, and then go and put your socks on, go and put your shoes on, because that way you're just a little bit less vulnerable, you're a little bit more mobile, and you're just a little bit more coordinated than as soon as you get out of bed. So I hope that one helps. Okay, perfect. Well, we'll call it there. Hope that's been helpful. It's been a little bit rusty, the first one, but I'm sure we'll get better at these, and hope you found it useful overall.